What's up, everybody? This is Her to You, and welcome to Wednesday's Random. So, today's Wednesday's Random. As we get closer and closer to my what is it? What would I say? To my surprise, I guess, right? So surprise for you guys. Um, they're getting a little. I'm thinking about, not saying I'm not thinking about them more and more, but like this time I had a hard time, um, like really figuring out like the direction of where I'm going to go with this topic, which is forgiveness. Um, and I'm really just jumping right up in it. So, because that's, like your nerves. So it just makes you want to like, oh, let me get it over with. But, um, yeah, I just really need to take my time. So, all right. So, welcome guys to Wednesday's Random. Um, the topic today is going to be on forgiveness. Um, the reason why I brought up this topic is it was recently brought to my attention. I was recently questioned about, do I forgive my mother for the trauma that she put me through as a child, as a teen, as an adult. Um, and I'll start from like the beginning, right? So when I was a child and I was going through whatever I was going through, I thought, in my head, I'm thinking this was happening to me because maybe I wasn't being a good kid, or um or because I saw that she would inflict any of this when she was angry or upset about maybe not being able to pay bills, or personal reasons with men and stuff like that, or maybe she had been drinking. Then I felt like if I could find a way to make her happy, then these things wouldn't be happening. So it wasn't even a thought of at that moment, right? When I was a child, up until I was probably until I was like 15. Um, I um I used to instantly forgive her, like instantly forgive her, because I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Like I needed to be doing enough. And then because I had yearned, and I used to yearn for my mother, like I used to pray, like, God, I just really wish that, we could have a relationship. I always felt like it was just something that maybe that I wasn't doing. You know what I mean? Um, Not realizing at that time that, it wasn't. So I didn't, I didn't like dislike her. Like I didn't hate her or whatever. I didn't dislike her. I just was confused and I didn't understand why this was happening. So in those innocent moments and vulnerable times, I feel like she could have apologized and changed, and I would have just accepted it. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool, boom. Um, from like 16, from like 16 to 21, I'll say this, from 16 to 18, I went I went through this angry spell because at that moment I began to lose a lot of things because of the abuse at home. So I dropped out of school, out of high school. I um I I was forced to, really kind of like live on my own, grind it out. Like, so, um, at the time, like I wasn't in a position to like go to college, um, because I just felt like at that moment in time, I just had to, I had to survive. I had to live. So, having a roof over my head, food in my mouth, a job, like that was more important than me trying to figure out my future and go to college and stuff. Like I really didn't. I was living pretty much just to survive day by day. So it wasn't like I had the fortitude to understand where I was at in that moment and how I could change it. It just was I was living literally in the moment. So in that particular time, hell no, I wasn't forgiven. I was angry. I was angry because I felt like I was put in a situation and left alone. Like and I was, you know what I'm saying? I pretty much was. And so so I was not forgiving. I couldn't stand her guts. Even though hate is a strong word, and when I was younger, we were taught not to say that, but I hated her. I hated her, and like, but at the same time, which is wild when I think back, at the same time, I still did the other things that I thought I could do when I was younger. So because my mother was, she was money hungry, so she'll be happy with money. She just was happy with money. So, um, like if I could pay a bill for her, or I used to really just, I used to at one point, I remember I used to just give her like my checks, literally, and that would give me some niceness for like 2 seconds, until that money was gone. When I was what 16, 17, I wasn't really making no dang money, no way. But I would give it all, yeah, I basically would give it to her. Um, and so I thought that was, so I kind of like was buying her, I was paying her not to abuse me pretty much. So, but then when I was forced to move out, and then I did not, I couldn't stand her. Like I couldn't stand her. And then it's just like the reality of now I'm moving. Now I kind of have freedom. Cause before, like, let me tell you something. If you, if you look at any abusive relationship, they keep that person close to the clutch. You know what I'm saying? They keep that person close to the clutch because they don't want you to know that this isn't normal. They don't want you to know, or they don't want you to tell, or they don't want you to expose what's going on. So they keep you right there so they can fully control the situation. So once I moved out and was able to move around and have that freedom and kind of see everything that was going on, I was surrounded by loving mothers. I was surrounded by friends who had really good moms, who were super supportive. Like, for instance, like I remember I moved out to my own apartment, and at that time my dad actually helped me with furniture, and then my grandma, she used to take me grocery shopping and stuff like that. Like she used to help me, and I remember um because I worked in like this little paint department. So I remember like this lady that I worked with, her daughter actually went to school with me. I knew her daughter and everything, and her daughter was moving into her first apartment, and she just was like the bomb. Like she was the bomb. Like she um she was super excited to talk about how her daughter was moving. And she was gonna help her paint to, kind of make it, her own, her little first place. You know what I mean? So she helped her daughter paint, she helped her daughter decorate, like she was ecstatic, mind you. I'm over here struggling. You know what I'm saying? I have no one. Like I don't have that. I don't have that moving into my first, that excitement of moving into my first place, and my mother being there to assist me or to, help me to clean. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing. Like I remember, other people's moms. They're like, before you move in, let me clean it. They'll come over and make sure everything was clean. Like, let me inspect it and make sure it looks good. Like, no, like, so I had, I didn't have that. So like once I started seeing like what everyone else was getting, you know what I'm saying, then I became very jealous and was like embarrassed by what I had been going through. So I couldn't stand her. I'm like, I could not stand her. Like, and like, because I was out on my own too, because I was out on my own, and I didn't live under her roof. Like every time like I would dig, I'll make her piss. Anytime we was like around each other or whatever, like I became so like disrespectful. Like, and I mean, she was, I mean, she did, but she was ready to kick my behind, but there were people around. So there were, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna show out too much, but she will show out. Um, so yeah, you gotta kind of like make her mad and then leave. So then she's stuck there. So then when you get home, you got 50 million voice messages about how you this, you that, you be this, you be that. She gonna come over there and whoop your ass and da 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 da. But that's a whole nother conversation. We talk about that. So no, I would say so then I would say basically from 16 to like 18, I hate her guts. Um but the really from 16 to 18 I hated her guts. That was like pure disrespectful. I was pure disrespectful. And then I would say 16 to 19 actually, because I was still out. And then from like a little bit of 19 to like it's like 23. I I had a forgiving heart. Like I've always had a forgiving heart though. Like I've always in the back of my mind and in my heart, I've always wanted to forgive her, but she would always do something that would hurt me. Like she would always do something that would hurt me. And again, being going through all this, being in the headspace that I was in, I didn't understand that the forgiveness is not for her. Like forgiveness isn't conditional. Like it isn't like I want to forgive you, but then you're hurting me, or you know what I'm saying. It's not that. It's not that. But at the time, that is what, like, I was giving her my heart with forgiveness. Like, you know what I'm saying. She was just stomping on that thing. You know what I'm saying. So, I took it very, very, very personal, and I began to harden. I began to harden, and I told myself in those moments, like, oh hell no, nah. Like I will never, never, never. You know what I'm saying? But I continue to try because I'm like, yo, this can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, this can't be the thing. And then I would kind of feel sorry for her and her situation. So then I would be like, oh, let me try to talk to her, forgive her. Like, I would try to talk to her like this, like what happened didn't happen. You know what I mean? But something would come up, something would happen where she would be talking and she would be super delusional. And I'm just like, nah, I can't let this conversation go this way. So I would try to interject or talk, and then her how she is, she gonna scream, yell, holler all over you, and then she gonna hang up on you and block you. So after she did that for several years, where she would get upset with maybe the things that I was saying, and she would hang up on me, she would block me, and then she wouldn't talk to me. And then let's say like my birthday would come, because she thinks, for some reason she thinks that she could buy you, which is wild, because you do not want no gifts from her, because if you accept one gift from her, then she's just gonna run with that and use that like, oh, I had to go and take care of, I had to go do this. She'll act like you asked for that, or like you needed that and she had to come to your rescue for that. So I learned very quick, like, hell no, I don't want nothing. I don't want a thing. So I like I said, I probably haven't spoke to her at this moment, at this time today, um, in the year 2022. I probably have not spoke to her in about 3 years, I think. It may be a little longer than that. It may be. I'm not sure. But about 3 years. And the last time we spoke, like I said, I was trying. I was really trying to um develop a relationship with her. I was trying to like not really reminisce or think about the past, just kind of just move on. And she she got upset with me because I asked her a question about something. I can't remember what exactly it was, but I know she went cold off on me. And she started to say things like, you guys really act like I was such a bad mom. And I'm on the phone like, what are you talking about? Like, she just kept saying it over and over and over again. And I just, everything was just like, everything was just coming back up. It was like I was regurgitating fire. Like, my body was just like, it felt like I had a fire pit in my stomach and it was just raging up. That's how I felt. I was so pissed. I was so angry. And I'm on the phone. I'm like, are you serious? And so I started saying that, like, are you serious? Are you serious? You really think that you was a good mom? Like, you really, all that I've, all that I've done, and y'all act like I'm this, and y'all treat me like this, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, she is delusional. Like, but I was pissed off because you not gonna act like you did something. I would never call you a great mom. I would never call you a good mom. Like mom is the only thing I could because that's what you are. That's the only thing I could give her because I'm like, are you serious? So she was just screaming and yelling, and of course, because she can't deal with the truth of things, then when I started saying, are you serious? Do you really want to have a real conversation about the type of mom you were? That's exactly what I'm saying. She's just going over me and going over me, and she's like, fuck you, bitch, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? This is getting wild, but at the same time, I'm really not shocked. This is what I'm used to. So I was just waiting on it to come out, pretty much. So eventually, because it's like when in that moment, in that time, talking to her, it was like walking on eggshells anyways. You didn't know what was going to happen, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got my nerves sitting here walking on eggshells to a person that, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is a type of this is what happens when it comes to like victims and their and the people that be victimizing them. Okay, so she hung up, of course. Before I could say anything, she hung up. She blocked me. She hung up. She sent me all type of text messages, calling me this, calling me that, calling me, calling da da da. And then she blocked me. So I couldn't take it anymore, y'all. That's the first time I'd ever given up. Like, I've never really given up on my mother, like, or that relationship. But that was the first time I did, and I was well into my 30s. And I just was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And at that point, like, I was kind of on another like spiritual journey where I just wanted to have peace in my life. And I've always desired peace, where I wanted peace in my life and I wanted a calmness. Like, I was already going through a lot. I was already going through a lot. I do remember that. And so, um, so me talking to her was kind of like I kind of needed her because I was going through stuff, even though I didn't tell her because I can't trust her with my information because then she's gonna spin it and talk about me like a dog to my family. So I couldn't really trust her with the information, but I just wanted like I just was craving like a mom, like a mother, and some type of normalcy. You know what I'm saying? And after that happened, I was like, Nah, sis, you're gonna have to go ahead and get it out the mud yourself. Like, you're gonna have to chuck, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to chuck the deuces to this. So I did. I said I had contacted, like, my sister and me and my older sister, and we just was talking, and I was like, I can't do this no more. Like, I can't continue to try with her, and then she doesn't really try. She's not trying with me. She's blaming me. Like, she's blaming me um for my own life. Like, that's wild. So I decided in that moment that I will not speak to her until she was ready to have a real conversation with me, until she was really ready to face and own up to the things that she did. So fast forward till today. A couple days ago, uh, my sister asked me, um, do you forgive her? And I was like, I do, without a doubt. Um, I know that I forgive my mother for the things that she has done, and I give that. I have to credit Wednesday's Random. I have to credit myself for going out on a real healing journey, on you know doing the work and going through the process of healing, um, with exposing my truth and really speaking about the things that happened to me, um, with creating projects and works to basically get this out of my system, and to be honest with myself with what exactly it was, to forgive myself because I didn't do anything. There couldn't have been no amount of money or nice things I could have did that could have stopped when I was younger, what I went through. Um, so going through that and kind of thinking about the life that she's living now, I forgive her because we can't go back and change what happened, and I can't go forward without forgiving her. Like, I can't keep continually giving her power over a life that she's not even in. She's not even in my life at this point. So I've given her so much power and credit over the years for the decisions I made in my life. Like, those are your decisions, because I know right from wrong. I know the expectations of me. I know the expectations, you know what I'm saying, of life, just what I'm expected to do for real, the decisions that I'm supposed to make or whatever. And I chose to make those, you know what I'm saying? I chose to make those, and I would always, well, this, or I wasn't this, or I wasn't exposed to this, but no, no, no. At some point you gotta take accountability for your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's where I really made it a point to forgive her, because one, again, two, three, four, five, like, I feel sorry for her because she's living a very lonely life. She has not one of her children around. You know what I'm saying? She's dependent on this person, that person, and that person, and she doesn't even know her grandchildren. Like, so I feel sorry because there's so many things that, and even us, like, we're missing out on. Like, we're missing out on those things, but at the same time, there's a reason why we're missing out on those things, because we can't get someone to just be a mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point, I don't need to go down memory lane. I don't need to. I used to think that, like, no, I gotta tell her she did this. I gotta confront her. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I don't need that. I do not need that. She can pop up right now and um be a mother, and I will accept her. I have boundaries and stuff like that now, though, too, though. Like, I'm not gonna accept the whole rah rah, cuss your ass out, threaten you, talk crazy. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. So if you can't meet me with peace and understanding and growth and then I can't do it. But I'm not about to get yelled and cussed out. I'm not gonna get yelled and cussed out either. You know what I'm saying? And this may sound really, really harsh, but what it is this is I used to desire peace and crave peace. And I've come to find out I can create my own peace. I can create my own peace. I can control my peace. I can control what I react to, what I respond to, what I get fired up about. I can do that. And I can choose people to be around me that don't have all this drama. And I'm not saying people I'm just everybody just hunky dory, happy, whatever. No. I'm just saying that extra drama, that always upset, that always mad, that always going through something, that always complain, that's always no, no. Because but I have grace for people like that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna constantly, I'm not gonna be constantly dumped on. I'm not, because I can only deal with it for so long. And in me understanding who I am, then that's where I have to set the boundaries and the expectations. Like, I can deal with it for a little bit, but you can't call me every day. You can't call me. I had people that just call me just to dump. Like, they don't call for nothing else. They literally don't call for nothing else. And like, I know I ain't talked to you in so long, but I know that I could talk to you. You don't know what is happening in my life, but yet I've allowed that dump to happen. And I'm not saying I'm an empath or anything, but I kind of take on that hurt. And I used to be like, dang, I used to always be like, okay, well, what can I do? What can I do? Or let me try to, and I interject myself in that drama. Like, hell no. Like, I'm done with that. I'm done with that because it took a toll on me. So now that I know what I know, then I have to do better. You know what I'm saying? What does it say? Once you know you do better, something like that. But yeah, so, and you have to really understand what that is. That can't just be something that you just say, like how we be like, remember how they used to tell, like when people be like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, and they're like, well, that was a prayer, because they're not gonna go pray for you. Like, you really have to stop being so loose with words. And that's what I'm coming to understand, that I cannot just be loose with my words. I have to have intentions in everything that I say. So if I say I'm choosing peace and I'm manifesting real positive vibes, then that's exactly what I'm doing. It's an action as well. It's an action that's going to follow. I'm going to say I'm going to do something, and then I'm going to follow through with that action. So, excuse me. So that's where I'm at. So I forgive her wholeheartedly. I do. With all my heart. I do. I forgive her. Do I want her in my life? Yes. And then what I was saying about it being harsh is, if I don't have her in my life because she is still on that rah, then that's okay too. That's sad, but it's okay too, because that did nothing for us. That did nothing for us. And she just hung up on me, called me names, and blocked me anyway. So why would I want to disturb you? Why would you want to disturb me if that's what the ending is going to be like? So, but I would, I would love to, have a conversation with her. I do pray for her. I do ask God, even though, you know what I'm saying, I don't want, I just talked about not taking time for granted, but I do pray for that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a whole nother person. I do pray that one day we'll be able to have that time, that we'll be able to fix things. You know what I'm saying? But we both have to see the value in that. We both have to see the real value in that, especially while our kids, like, the grandchildren are getting older. Like, the grandchildren are getting older, and life is really happening to every single person. Me and my sisters are literally in 3 different states. So Yeah. So like I said, forgiving her um is a blessing for me because I know that going forward, forgiveness is going to be super easy for me to do. Like forgiving people for hurting me, wronging me, um, is going to be, not saying a super easy thing to do, but um, yeah, it is. It is. It is actually. It's going to be a thing because, listen, I've been through worse. You know what I'm saying? I've been done worse. So go on about your business. But it'll be easier to forgive someone and then, not, yeah, check them the deuces or take them for who they are at that moment. There's no more. If you change, then you just change, and I'll deal with the change you. But I'm not here to plead with nobody. I'm not here to uh, you know be crying and shouting and trying to explain to somebody how they hurt me. No, 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 no. You are forgiven, and we'll just keep it pushing. And if it comes up, I'll let you know. But other than that, a change will come, and then you'll just see that change in me because I'll act accordingly. I'm act accordingly, very much so. And it ain't even on no no tit for tat. It's just I'm gonna act according to how you behave. I'm gonna take you exactly how you are. You know what I mean? So if I can't trust you, I'm not gonna tell you all my stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna deal with you accordingly. I'm gonna deal with you. I'm gonna deal with you accordingly. If you calling me all the time, constantly venting about, I'm going to let you know, like, listen, I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm not gonna be able to set this up like this. So I understand that people make mistakes. So I'll grant grace. And that's where grace comes from too. Like granting grace would also help you not to be in a position to where you gotta forgive people. Like if you give them grace to mess up, or you give them grace in understanding, like, okay, I can see how that came about, but going forward, this is what I think is gonna be best for me. Since that's how you move, this is gonna be best for me. So that's where I'm at with it. That is where I'm at with it. I continue to wish her the best. She's on my board, like she really, like I do really think about her. Like that really is my mom, and I don't want to disrespect her, but I want to be honest with who I am. Me on a mission to become my authentic self and really walk in my purpose, why God allows me to breathe every single day and be exactly who I am. And I have to be that. If that comes off ugly to you, then you have to understand that you did some stuff to people. You know what I'm saying? And what happens in the dark is definitely gonna come out in the light. And no matter how long it gets there or how long it takes to get there. So, but I have her on my board when I write the people that are important to me in my life, she's on there. You know, when I become, rich, because I care about famous, but when I become rich and able to really just really do, like she's on my list to do. I wouldn't really leave her out. But right now, like I just don't have a choice. I mean, no, I have a choice, but right now I am choosing to heal myself and to really put myself in a position so that when we do communicate, um, she can not. I'm not for her understanding, but that I can give her grace, that I can really just listen to what she's saying without it being a trigger, without being like, what'd you say? What'd you say? Or me being able to be like, yeah, I'm grown now. What's that? Well, not like that. I wouldn't, I wouldn't fight her. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you like, I ain't no kid no more. You can't be talking to me like that. Like, I wouldn't do that no way. I wouldn't do that no way. Miss Lucas done raised me better than that. So, um, And because of my grandma is a reason why, also why I have a respectability for her to not really do certain things, you know. So I love her and I wish her the best. And if she was to ever watch this, I forgive you. I forgive you. And you can always holler at me. You really do have my number. My number has not changed. It has not changed. You can give me a call. We can we can talk about recipes because that's one thing my mama can cook. And now I love cooking, and every time I cook, I think about her. Every time I cook, I think about her, and I'm like, dang, I wonder what spices she would tell me to use, or how she would tell me to do things and stuff like that. So even if we was to meet in that aspect, I would love it. I would love it. I would love it. So, anyways, guys, that is it for Wednesday's Random. Thanks again for tuning in and following me on this journey, on this healing journey. I wish that everyone out there finds a way to forgive yourself, because that's important, to forgive yourself. There's even forgive yourself through the like either grieving process or the healing process. You know what I'm saying? Forgive yourself for setbacks you may have. Forgive yourself for giving in to certain things, but also give yourself grace for that as well. But also there's some action that needs to be taken. Understand that there's action that needs to be done, and it may be hard. It may be difficult to do. It may look like there's no point to do this, but pray, really ask God to give you that discernment to show you that, so that you're able to take that next step. But continue to move forward. Continue to move forward, because your life is your life. Your life is your life. And as much as we are, as much as we feel like we were mistreated, unfairly mistreated, given the bad hand, that does not have to be the ending of things. It doesn't have to be the ending of any storyline or anything else. You have the ability to change that. But like I said last week, it's a daily decision. It's a daily decision. I don't have to forgive her daily. I don't have to forgive her daily. But daily, I have to make a decision to keep moving forward. Like let's say with the memories that I have. So the memories that I have, sometimes, some days I cry about it. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm sad about it. But I'm no longer pissed. I'm no longer angry. I I'm like, you know what, that's my story, and I hope that my story, me telling my story, will let someone else be able to come out their own closet. Will let somebody else be able to tell their truth and what has happened to them. Because, like I said in prior videos, me speaking about what I've been through, and I get messages from other women, or I've been in conversations with other women, and I listen to their story, and I'm like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is harsh. Like that, like, dang, I'm not alone. So that also made me feel better to think, okay, I'm not alone in this process. Somebody else has been either through something like similar to this or worse than this. And look, they're thriving. They're still doing what they need to do. So then I have hope that, okay, boom, let me figure it out for myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I'm at with it, and that's just my advice that I can give, especially during this journey in understanding my growth and appreciating my growth. That I know that there's another side. It's a it's a daily decision to change and to accept what has happened to you, and to use it to push you forward in your life, and take real action behind it. I appreciate it. So I wouldn't wish it. I I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish none of this. But again, thank you for tuning in to Wednesday's Random. And like all the time, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment, share, and stay tuned to my surprise. Have a good one, guys.